This one I better do me, I no get time. Dada cover my face, calling me da. Big man we do where what's it gonna be? G-Wagon, all depend. They get them, ride the whip. I know we die for nothing. What's it gonna be? G-Wagon, all depend. They get them, ride the whip. I know we die for nothing. Make you no say anything when you do, they must commend it. So anything when they do, or they try to do, I'm plenty survive with the face. Just to make sure money day. But my people then go say I don't want buy, I don't want die, I don't want payment, I want enjoy, I want chop life, I want buy motor, I want build house, I still want to know.
How are you doing, traders? I hope you're doing great. It's just an amazing feeling to be out here, just on the chat and also enjoying the breeze of Dubai, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, this week has been super amazing on the charts. I took 3 trades with my students, one on EU, GJ, and also EJ, and these were very simple trades that we spotted. So I'd like to break it down, so that you can also get to see the thought process behind the trade I took, So without wasting my time, let's just jump right into it.
So last week, the market gave us a lot of opportunities on EUR JPY. Yeah, so let me just go ahead and break it down for you. So if you look at this line right here, this is exactly where the market opened. And this is a pair that I forecasted on, during the Sunday live with, those of you guys in the premium or in the Telegram group, right? So I'm just going to start exactly from here and what I said about this pair during the market forecast. So I'll just go to the daily time frame and we're going to do it together. So during the forecast, what I said was price was just trading below this level, right? We created a high right here, high, low, high, high, and then price pulled back all the way to this level, and then we had price pushing back to that level again where price rejected in the past and dropped, right? So over there I wanted to see how price how price will get there and what price will also do when we get there, right? If you understand patterns, you will actually consider what I'm about to say, right? You will see that this is a nice impulsive phase, and we had price just correcting to the upside, and then looking at this correction phase to the upside towards this resistance was just something that I had to just be very careful of, because I understand that this is a reversal. It could be a reversal pattern. Just to look at this could be a nice rising wedge pattern. I will just break to the downside. So if you look right here, right, this is similar. You have this impulsive phase, we have correction, and this could be a pattern that will just reverse, which is a reversal pattern. So I was very cautious when I saw this. So before that, I also had to go down to lower time frames, right, just to look at the structures as well, right? So even though I'm seeing this rising wedge pattern, looking at the structure on the 4H and also on the daily, we are still on a bullish trend. On the 4H, you can see we had a higher low. Price took out this high, created a new high, and price created a higher low, and then price obviously took out this high to create a new high. So the 4H was still bullish, right? This was the 4H low, right? So if this drops and it's pulling back, obviously we are still on the bullish structure. If you understand market structure, this is something that you should know. So we could even pull back to this level before pushing to the upside, right? So I was like, if I go down, this is what I saw. I saw another structure within this one. You can see it's the same thing. I saw price just impulsing and also correcting to the upside like that, right? This was also a nice rising wedge pattern. Same thing, impulse, correction, right? Impulse and correction. So this is what exactly I said during the Sunday live market analysis. I said, looking at the structure, on this pair, and based on how this is moving, even if we're gonna push to the upside, we will see a drop before that move to the upside because of what we are seeing right here, right? So the 4H, remember, the 4H is bullish like that. We have a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So a drop right here will just be a pullback on this 4H like that, right? So this will just be a pullback on this 4H. So let's just take a look at what happened when the market opened. So the market opened right here, exactly where the line was activated. Was just midnight, so this is what we woke up to. When we woke up, we saw price just breaking this low, right? Which means the pullback on the 4H had started, right? So if you are involved in this trade on the lower time frames, on the 15 minutes, on the 5 minutes, and you are selling, what you have to understand is you are selling the pullback, right? That is why in trading, most of the time they say the trend is your friend, trade with a trend. You don't want to be trading against the trend, because if you are selling the pullback, you don't know when price will just possibly shift to the upside and continue the overall trend, right? So right here, even if you are selling, it becomes very risky, because at any point in time, price could just reverse and structure could just shift, and then we'll be pushing to the upside. So this is what I said, I was like, even if we get into any trade right here, we have to be very careful, especially when it comes to TP and all of that. You cannot target all the way this level or the way down here, because price is still bullish, right? Just that the 1H, the 30 minutes has shifted bearish. But you have to understand, you have to know that we are trading, or we are just trading on the pullback phase, right? So right here, I was like, price has created a new lower low. We had pulled back, this is a lower low, and if we want to sell, we are obviously not going to sell at the lower low. We're going to sell at the lower high when price does this, right? This is where we're going to sell, so that price will just go down with us, right? So we just had to wait for the pullback like that, right? So just to take a look at this, price was just pulling back. I was like, let's watch the pullback, and we saw price giving us this bearish candle at this zone like that, right? We waited for the second one, and this is exactly where I got in with my stop loss just above the structure. In my TP, this is where normally I will just target, because this is something 90% all of that, right? But since we are trading the pullback phase, I just don't know where price will reverse, because price could even just tap here and then we will just start trading to the upside. So this was just the first TP, but obviously there was no TP that was set. I just had my area set here just to see how price will get there. I like to use this word, how price gets there, because based on what price does in an area is what gives me the confirmation to either keep on holding or just leave, like that. So just taking a look at this and see price just started dropping, nice drop, and then we broke through. So I was like, wow, maybe price will just drop all the way to this level and even break down and go down. So I don't know, let's just take a look at this. Right, that's what I said. So you can see price got to this level and it started pulling back. So I was like, okay, the fact that we have broken this low, created a new lower low, then maybe price will just pull back and create a lower high and then continue going down, creating lower lows and lower highs. So here we're still in the trade. I was just still in the trade, nothing like that, So this was the new lower low. So I just had to see what price will do at the new lower low, if this is obviously going to break that lower low. So looking at price action, just take a look at what price did there as well. Price got to that level, we broke below, but quickly the buyers pushed the price up and gave us this candle. If you understand candlestick patterns as well, you will be able to understand it. So this was like, okay, this is the first reaction or the first rejection. Let me see the second move. The sellers tried, the buyers also came. Now it's like, okay, this is a morning star candlestick pattern. If you understand candlestick patterns, you see this a morning star, and since we are trading the pullback phase, I don't want to be just stuck in this pullback phase thinking this will continue going down. So just the look of this, I was like, okay, you know what, I'm done with the pullback phase. We are done with the pullback phase, right? This pullback phase, lower low, lower high, lower low phase, we are done. So let's start looking for buying opportunities. But if price doesn't go up for buying opportunities and it continues going down, it's okay. We are done, and we are done. We will just wait for this pullback to go wherever it wants to, and if finally switches, we will just get in for buys. But if it breaks that low, then we will get in again for the sale, and then we'll continue trading. So this is what exactly the words that I spoke. But as you can see, price didn't do that. Price went up like that, started pushing up, and this is exactly where the entry came in. So if you look at the structure, which means this pullback phase was done, and if you look at the structure, we had a nice double bottom formation right here, right? So if you look at this, probably before the break like that, before the break, you couldn't have called this a double bottom, because a double bottom pattern is a pattern where the neckline gets broken, right? We want a first bottom, second bottom, and we want the neckline to be broken completely like that. We want a candlestick to close above the neckline, right? So if price is here, you can see the candlestick had not closed above the neckline, so you cannot call this double bottom. Price could just reject right here and continue trading down, and it's still a downtrend. As it stands, it's still a downtrend, right? So a double bottom, you want the neckline to be broken. So just waiting for that neckline to be broken confirmed a double bottom, and that was the entry right there, right? Which means the 4H structure is now, or has now aligned with the overall structure, right? The 4H is high, 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 low, high, high. The 4H has now aligned. Everything is now bullish right now. The 1H is bullish. The 4H is still bullish, which just got started pushing to the upside. So now we are in alignment with the overall direction, right? But looking to my left, I knew we were still below this level, right? So is price gonna reject at that level and then eventually drop? I don't know, and I didn't know, right? So I was like, let's take a look, or let's wait and see if price will break that level. If price does, then eventually we could see price just pushing to the upside to continue overall trend, right? So price actually went up. This wasn't there initially, this wasn't there, right? But this was a structural level that we catered for, lower low, lower high. So we wanted to see if price will break this level, pull back to this area, and then gather that momentum to break through, right? That was what we were looking at. So this is what price did, played around that area, those highs, pushed to the downside, and eventually broke through that level. So we were like, wow, then it means price will just continue going to the upside. So if you go on the daily, you can see price actually broke that level. And mostly once you get into a trade, there is always something that you have to do. You always have to make sure that you know where you are targeting. You don't want to get into a trade without knowing where you will take your profit, right? So a lot of people do this. They get into a nice trade, but they actually don't know where to take their profit, right? So what you can do is you can just look to your left and look at the recent structure that price is approaching. So looking to our left, this was the structure that price was approaching. So we wanted to just target that level, and that's it. It's very simple to mark up targets and all of that. So that was the target right here, and you saw price just pushing to the upside to hit the target. So this was a very, very simple setup that played out. So that was the first trade. Price got to that target, and obviously that's a higher high, so we'll wait for a pullback for a lower high before price will do whatever, right? So price created a high right here, then we started creating these lows, right? So just take a look at this. So if I should ask you, are you gonna call this a double top? Let me delete this. Are you gonna call this a double top pattern? Is this a double top? First top, second top. Is this a double top pattern? Is this the M formation? Yes, it's the M formation, but is this a double top? It's only gonna be a double top once this low gets broken for us to be looking for selling opportunities. Until then, price could still continue to the upside because the neckline it's not yet broken. So this is what I want you to take home in this video as well, right? So just a look at this. In my mind, I know structure is still up, though I'm seeing double rejections, but it doesn't mean we are gonna go up. It doesn't mean we are gonna go down. We are only gonna go down. I'm only gonna look for selling opportunities once this low gets broken, right? So I was very patient looking at the market structure at that level. So I saw price just moving there strongly with this nice moves, right? That is when I saw price just correcting, right? So let's go to the 30 minutes here. So price just correcting. So you can see big bearish candlesticks, but price started correcting towards that level. Again, if you understand price action, if you understand chart patterns, this was an impulsive phase. The price was just creating this, and this is a falling wedge pattern that will eventually just break to the upside, right? So it's the same thing right here. We have price dropping massively and then doing this correction and then eventually pushing to the upside. So this is the pattern that was just playing around here. So just looking at this pattern around this support level, I was like, wow, I'm just waiting for a break to continue the overall direction of the market, because we were just on an uptrend, right? So basically that was it. So just take a look at this, just the break right here when the candlestick closed for the 30 minutes. This was the entry, and then actually it was targeting this level, but since we were still trading the overall direction, I just didn't want to limit myself. I wanted to see what price would do here as well, because we have rejected first, second, let me see the breakout. So price eventually broke through that level like that. Just take a look at this. Price broke through. I was like, wow, let's keep on holding then, yeah. So price, actually, I think we closed somewhere here, actually that time I was out. I was not even behind my computer, so I didn't want to really hold this, and it was almost around 8:30, 9, 10. I just didn't want to hold, so I was done. I knew price has created higher high. We obviously pull back during the Asian session for price to continue, so I didn't want to wait for that pullback. I just wanted to close and I was done. So this was the second trade. And before I even go forward, just take a look at this structure where we had the first top. Price pulled back to to this low with this kind of structure, right? Just take a look at this. This was last week, right? The same thing. First top, second top, price pulled back to this low with this kind of structure and then push to the upside. It's the same thing that we're having here, right? So if you understand these kind of patterns, and if you understand the right areas to be looking for the patterns and all these things, then you will always be ready, or you will always be alerted whenever these kind of things play out. So it's the same thing the market does. The market likes to repeat itself. So what you want to do is you also want to make sure that you have a strategy that can capture these kind of repetitions in the market, right? So that's exactly what happened, and price obviously just broke to the upside. So this was another trade that we could have taken, but this played out during 1 a.m 2 a.m. I was already asleep, couldn't have taken this, but this was a nice impulse phase, correction, and price impulse. If you have been watching this channel, you hear me talking about the flag pattern, impulse, correction, impulse, like that. Impulse, correction, nice entry here, stop loss here, obviously take profit somewhere there, but this was a missed trade. That's why I have this X here. It means it was a missed trade. So price just moved forward, woke up to this, right, to this level. Obviously, if you scroll to our left, you realize that this is also another structural level. So price did something like this. We had a nice impulse. Price is just trying to correct. All we have to do is to wait for the correction to be done. Same nice flag, wait for the breakout like that, and that is the entry. Same pattern. What is the difference between this move 1, 2, 3? What is the difference? We have 1, 2. So what is missing? The third leg, right? So it's very simple. You also want to identify the next structural level for your TP, and this is it, right? So just take a look at this. It was a very nice move, and that's it. So these kind of entries that I'm basically showing you right now, they are not to even show you that, oh, we took some nice trades or whatever, but just to make you understand that there are always opportunities in the market that keeps on playing out each and every week. All you need is a unique strategy that can be replicated over and over, right? And what also makes me happy is the fact that there are some trades I didn't even call them in my premium group. My students were able to just observe it themselves and were able to take it on different pairs that I wasn't even looking at, and that makes me happy, because at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is for them to catch their own fishes, So the fact that they are able to spot and even send me for me to take some of the trades, it makes me happy, So these are some few trades on the EUR JPY. So taking a look at this pair that is on GG, this is a trade that actually stopped me out. It hit my stop loss, but overall it was a really nice trade. Price just came down right here to hit my stop loss just with at least a pip, just with a pip, and then obviously just push to the TP, right? So that's exactly what happened. But before this, I'm just gonna just go back and show you the clips or the videos that I actually sent them, or the analysis that I did with them. So yeah, one thing about this GBP JPY is the fact that this is still the pullback phase. But one thing about pullbacks is we can never tell how far a pullback will go before reversing. So if we want to go with the overall direction of the market, then it's very, very good. We have to just wait for higher highs and higher lows for you can actually take all this move to the upside. But yeah, so that's exactly what happened. We had price just pulling back like that. This was the the drop. We just had to wait for this to happen. Price just pushed it upside like that, took out some highs, and this was just the entry. But my stop loss was super tight, yeah. But as you can see, price came down, hit my stop loss just with a few pip like that, and then actually continued going, moving in profit, and then went all the way to hit my TP. But it's okay. The fact that this was spotted, the fact that the entry was perfect, it means once we see similar structure in the future, we can take it, right? So it's nothing at all, yeah. But this is a trade that some of my students were actually able to capitalize from all of that. So before the entry on EUR USD as well, this is what I said. Hey guys, let's take a look at the structure on EUR USD as well. If you remember, during our session I told you that let's keep EUR USD because price was somewhere here. And so right here in the daily candle, that was yesterday's candle, I saw it close above this level, and today I can still see price pushing to the upside. So let's go to 4H as well. So looking at the 4H structures, this was the major high, major low got broken, price created a new low, we had a new high, this low got broken, we created a new low, and this high has been broken as well. So on the 4H we have shifted from bearish to bullish. Currently price is in a correction phase or a pullback phase, so the best thing we can do is just to wait if this is gonna pull back and give us a nice entry, maybe a flag pattern or anything that will give us an entry, because as it stands we are just the pullback just began. Even if I go on the 1H, you can see it's not done, it's not really clear. We just have one move to the downside, and that's not the end of the pullback. Price is doing something, we could go down and do something like that, and finally we can take it, because you can also see the nice impulse phase, right? That makes this pattern beautiful, because whenever we see a very solid impulse, the possibility of seeing a correction is very high. So this could just correct and push it upside. Yeah, so that was it. Just had to wait for that pullback, right? Once price creates a higher high, there is always a pullback correction before a new higher high. This is a whole pullback before an impulse. There is always a pullback, right? So you always want to get involved in those pullback phases, wait for that pullback, and then that's it. So right here, this was a nice entry, understanding patterns as well. This was a nice impulse correction, nice flag. Just had to wait for the breakout, and that was it. So I mean, this is it was a very simple setup, right? So as you can see, it's not, I'm not saying trading is that easy like that, but you can make it easy, especially when you have a certain rules that you follow. You are only trading once you see those kind of things playing out, once the setup aligns with your rule. Why not? If not, then you stay out of the market. It only becomes very, very complicated when you are forcing things that you don't understand, or when you are trading outside what you know, right? So if I open my chart and I'm seeing something that I have no idea of, I'm not even gonna analyze, I'm not even gonna trade, because I don't understand. It has nothing to do with my strategy. But once I see exactly things on my trading plan, or once I see that this setup aligns exactly with my strategy, then why not? Why not? Before this, as I said, after every break of a high there is a pullback, right? So look at this. This was the daily. We had the daily break right here at this level. That is why I went down the lower time frame and I said I'm waiting for that pullback for a continuation to the upside. If you look at our left, or if you look to our left, it's the same thing. We had this high, price took out this high. So if you are trading right here, are you gonna buy here? No. If you are buying here, you are basically buying too high. So you want to go down and wait for price to pull back. This is the pullback phase, like that, and then you get in, right? So I mean, it's very, very simple market structure as well. You want to buy low like that. You don't want to buy high, you want to buy low, and when you are selling, you want to sell high, right? Yeah guys, so I believe you learned something valuable from this content. If you are not in the Telegram group, make sure you do join, because I'll be sharing a lot of valuable content there that will help you along in your trading journey. And if you also want to learn how to trade, if you need mentorship, or if you want to join the premium group as well, the link will be down. You can just message me on Telegram to get started, right? So guys, take care and have a good week ahead.